Today, I'm going to be filming another self-tape audition. And while I get ready, I'm going to share with you why studying psychology makes you a better actor and why I rely on it for auditions like this. On paper, my two scenes present as opposites. So while it's the same character, we have two completely different representations. The average person might describe these two scenes as a victim scene and then a villain scene. But that is very flat and one-dimensional. If you understand psychology, then you can create complexity underneath the surface, which makes your performance way more compelling, interesting, while also creating fluidity and continuity. One of my favorite things to do when I'm watching a TV show or a movie and there's like a big twist that I never saw coming, I love to go back and watch the actor's performance to see if they were playing it the whole time. And it's really fun to see the subtlety and the nuances they did that went undetectable. You can do this much more easily if you understand psychology. So here's the thing, right? Bad people, they don't think they're bad. They don't know they're bad. They don't perceive themselves as bad. Because in every one of our individual minds, we are the hero of our own story. We know what we're doing and why we're doing it because we know what motivates us. There are justifications for our actions. So for characters like the one I'm playing today, it's really important to understand what drives them. What is their narrative? What's their motivation for doing the things that they do? How do they see the world and what it's done to them? What are their fears? What are they protecting? I think that's why so many of us love the antagonists as much as the protagonists, because the best performers, if they're doing their job right, make them relatable. They're flawed, just like us, which evokes empathy because, let's be honest, we see a portion of ourselves in them. So as the performer, finding a way that you relate to this character is paramount because that's how you find your own personal connection to a character and make them more real. Understanding their behavior also helps protect you as an actor because then you don't absorb their darkness. I suppose in a way you could say you're just using your own, but that's also why a lot of us perceive acting as therapy. Work that shit out. So in my audition today, my character has the same need in both scenes. However, the circumstances and audience are different. So that's going to mean I have different tactics that I have to employ to try to get what it is I want or need. It also says that my character is very manipulative and controlling. Well, this is where understanding psychology becomes really beneficial. How do you play manipulative and controlling? Especially when most people who are manipulative aren't thinking, I'm going to try to manipulate this person. They just happen to be doing that as a result of something else. So in other words, it's really hard to play a destination without knowing the journey, right? If we're focused on the journey, we're producing the destination. It doesn't really have the same effect the other way around. So for me with this character, I've been thinking a lot about why does she feel the need to control? And also manipulation is a form of control. I need this person to do this for this reason so that I can feel this. Those are the things we have to figure out. And if you understand psychology, it just makes the choices a lot easier, cleaner, the transitions more smooth, and it humanizes them. Think as long as you understand the psychology of the character, what makes them tick, and the circumstances and structure of the scene, then you're gonna get a different take every time. And that's really good. Editors love that because it gives them options. When it comes to submitting a self-tape though, that can be problematic because maybe you like multiple scenes for different reasons. However, if they're different enough, send them both. What I personally like about it is that every quote-unquote line reading I give is different, therein by making it not a line reading at all. You might even surprise yourself sometimes by the way something comes out. You might not have expected to read it that way or say it that way or deliver it that way. And that's because you're attached to the emotion, not the product. It also says that my character today is motivated by money. I always find that very interesting, particularly as somebody that doesn't come from money, because my relationship to it is just so vastly different, right? It's on the opposite side of the spectrum. However, what I understand about psychology helps me get there because I know that people that have always had money, that are attached to money, that that are motivated by money are so because what really is the driver is fear of not having it, because that's the fear of the unknown, fear of the inability to adapt to their circumstances if they don't have money to help them out. And the fear of not having enough is definitely something that I can relate to and bring to my character that will come off as a fear of just going without. But also, like, what does money equal or equate to people? For me, for instance, it equals security. But for others, it could mean relevance or importance. It can mean access to opportunity or networks or options and solutions, status, accessibility, optics. The more I understand people, the less I feel like I'm pretending. If you believe it, so will everyone else. I'm pretty sure that that's the same philosophy the best liars subscribe to, but what do you think an actor is? That's why I always joke to people, I never lie, because A, I don't have the memory for it, and B, if you're not paying me to do it, it just feels like working for free. I think that that was something I struggled with for a really long time, was not believing my own lie. I used to get really crippled by things that weren't my truth, i.e., oh, I have to be a rich person, but I've never been rich, so I don't know how to pull that off effectively, or I don't believe that I can pull that off effectively, and therefore I didn't. There are tips and tricks that help you be more convincing, and this is just one of them. Study psychology of every kind of person and every person you meet. I feel like a lot of times when I meet people, I'm always just studying them. I'm trying to learn what makes them tick. I'm trying to identify what I connect with or what makes them relatable or why maybe they're so charismatic or off-putting. I'm always trying to understand their story. Being an actor is also being an empath. The more I understand people, the more protected I am in real life too, because once you understand people, how they operate and what makes them tick, you start to recognize certain signs that protect you from people you don't want to be involved with. It makes people extremely transparent. But understanding them can also help you take their defenses down and get to know who they really are behind who they're pretending to be. And this all makes auditions like this that much easier. Always study people, especially the people that you don't think you have anything in common with. The people that seem very foreign to you. Again, I'll go off the money thing just because that's the theme we've been using here and it's relevant for my character today. What seems to be really important to wealthy people? What are their manners like? What about them to you makes them seem like they're wealthy? How in the way they carry themselves does that come off? What are their schedules and routines like? What are their behaviors like with friends? Do they gossip? Do they not gossip? Do they gossip discreetly, cunningly? Or are they more overt? Are they new money or are they old money? Are they East Coast money or West Coast money? All of these things matter and influence even subtle differences. Your number one job as an actor is to constantly observe, whether that's in film and television or real life. Reality series are also a great source, particularly true crime. How do people that are really going through trauma react? How do the people that come off on those shows seem like they're overcompensating because they're lying? Okay, that's all for this session. Thank you so much for joining me. If you guys like this video and you want to see more videos like it, please make sure to let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.